How's it going, Guardians? And if you're like me, you can't wait for the Solar 3.0 update to arrive. Now, hopefully that'll come next season, but it's more than likely going to be Arc. But that doesn't mean that we can't get ready in advance anyways. Now, here in the background, I'm going to have 3 different builds going on. One for the Titan, one for the Warlock, and one for the Hunter. I should have timestamps in the description, and you can skip ahead to whichever one you want to, look at. That being said, the main common thread between all of these builds is the elemental well system. Now, as I was putting these builds together, which are, like I said, this general all-around usage builds, they're not going to be in-game builds, they're not going to be, for the brand new lights that come into the game. They're going to be for the average player that's been around for a while, that might have a handful of exotics and most of the elemental well mods. Now, everything that you're going to be doing is going to be focused on some type of ability spam. Here on the Titan, I'm trying to throw hammers, trying to throw thermite grenades, and trying to throw barriers as much as possible. To do that, I use the Heart of Inmost Light, and that's going to allow me to get empowered abilities and get them back quicker and make them more powerful. But on the Warlock and everything else, we're still using elemental wells, and again, it's still based on ability spamming, so we will look at it when we get there. Until then, just watch me kill these couple scoring in this Hive Knight. Okay, so over here on my Warlock, I am on Solar, and the exotic that I'm using is going to be Sunbrazers. Now, like I said, I'm focused on ability spamming here. My thought process is that when Solar 3.0 comes out, it's going to be much like how Void 3.0 was. Instead of focusing on gunplay as much, it's going to be largely focused on abilities. And that seems to be how both Stasis and Void 3.0 are, with the aspect and fragment system that they have in the game, which is really great and leads to more build crafting and less reliant upon the cookie cutter builds that everyone uses. So that being said, here with the Sunbracers, I'm able to spam out my solar grenades, and I'm also using my Celestial Fire and Heavy Handed to pretty much spam out my solar grenades. And hopefully in the future, when the Solar 3.0 update actually happens, this build will have some type of interaction with, I'm hoping, healing with all these solar grenades somehow. But if not, if we can somehow spread fire between people or cause explosions or do whatnot, it'll be good no matter what. Like I said, these builds are mainly this like a option where you can pretty much go into the new update with any one of these builds and then just plug in the aspects and the fragments you want, and you won't have to worry about the exotics or your mods or anything, and you'll be able to go and do all of your ability spams and everything that will probably tie into Solar 3.0 and Arc 3.0 for that matter really well. I'm just going to finish mopping up the scoring in this Hive Knight right here. If you guys want to go ahead and skip ahead to the Hunter section, you can go ahead and do that now. So here on the Hunter, we're going to be using the Young Ahamkara spine. And the reason why is it's going to give us enhanced trip grenades or trip mines, and they are going to be very powerful in comparison to what they normally are. Their explosive radius is also going to double, and the detection radius is also going to double, so they'll explode when enemies are near by them. Now, what we're going to be wanting to do on this one is this throwing knives, so that way we can throw our grenade and we use our dodge to get our knives back, to throw those and get our grenade, and rinse and repeat that whole process. And hopefully as I said with the warlock, if we can start catching people on fire from using these different abilities, it will lead into our hunter class ability here coming back quicker. So our dodge will come back quicker, which in turn, dodging by enemies is going to give us our throwing knives, and in turn that's going to lead to us getting our trip mine, because the young Arhamkara spine will give you back your trip mines based on ability damage that you do, including itself. So it's a very good gameplay loop that you can use, and like I said, it's all about ability spamming. Who knows, maybe with the Solar 3.0 update, when we dodge, we might cause explosions around us, and doing this, you know, constantly is gonna lead to great AoE. So I don't know, it's this something to keep in mind. The main thing here is that elemental well system. The elemental well mods are actually extremely useful when it comes to ability spam of any type, so I'd say go pick up all of those if you can. But yeah, I believe that's going to be it, Guardians. I just want to show you these 3 different builds and point out the elemental well system, which I plan on doing a video about that specifically within itself. I will also go on to say that I'm not using any utility mods like to cause damage with a melee to get grenade back and vice versa. I'm not using dynamo for super on class ability. I'm not using any of those. I'm also not using any artifacts in these builds. Those are something you can choose to use on your own, especially when we see what happens with next season's artifact. Well, that's going to be all, Guardians. Until the next one, take care and peace.